Future college soccer stars and college soccer players. I'm Markins, your host, your coach, and the guy with a lot of years of experience in regards to college soccer in general, having been a player who was recruited to play at Southern Connecticut State University many moons ago. Later became a college coach who had to do some recruiting. So I'm here to share some of that information with you, as I've helped so many other players in the past understand how the process works and how to take full advantage of the opportunities that are out there for college players, for future college players in your case, but for college players in general. Okay, so this is all about the college soccer recruiting process. This is the first episode, and this one is really about understanding the process. Okay, so you want to play college soccer, huh? Okay, great. And getting recruiting through the recruiting process of being recruited is not just about showing your dominance on the field. Okay, so this guide will definitely give you the tricks, the tools, and the inside tips to navigate the recruiting process as a pro. Okay, so it'll really take you there. And by the end of this, you'll have you should have a polished recruiting profile, a communication plan with your coaches, and a killer recruiting video. And certainly you want to make sure that you have a list of the colleges that fit your desires academically and also athletically or playing wise. Already. So, and basically there are recruiting organizations that colleges belong to. Okay, and I'm just going to brief you on the big ones. The NCAA is the most competitive and has the largest number of schools. Okay, so college soccer recruiting it's not the same for everyone. It varies based on the organization you want to play in. Each organization has its own rules and timeline. So we'll try to break those down quickly for you so that you have a basic overview and understanding of how that really works. So again, the NCAA is the most competitive. It's where most of the colleges belong to. It has the largest number of schools and the biggest pool of college players. And then there is the NAIA, which is smaller schools, but scholarship opportunities are still available to you. Now, it's not to say with the NCAA every school is all the same. In fact, there are divisions 1, 2, and 3. The biggest schools are in D1, mid-sized schools are D2, and then most schools are D3 because they're smaller. Whether it's in enrollment, the number of students, or their ability to pull a lot of players in to have strong athletic programs. Okay, and then lastly, there is the NJCAA, which is junior colleges. Okay, so in junior colleges, it's sort of like a pathway to a 4-year school for the most part. So if you see a lot of players heading over to a junior college, it could be the part of a bigger plan. A lot of college coaches, 4-year college coaches, will send their players to 2-year school in preparation for their 4-year career. Okay. And in terms of the recruiting timeline, the question we get a lot is, when should we start? Well, as a freshman and sophomore in high school, your focus really is to build your skills, keep up your grades academically, and start to really have a general idea about what kind of schools you want to attend. Academically, what is that school like? Socially, what is it like? Size-wise, what would it look like? Some kids would love to go to a big school where there are 30,000 students. The next kid really wants to go to 5,000 student, smaller school. So all those things can play a part in your decision making. Junior year, you can start really contacting coaches, attend some of their camps and showcases, and make sure that you're working on your recruitment video, your highlight reel, if you will. And then senior year, you follow up with the coaches and really start to apply to these schools and finalize your recruitment plan. and really bond those. You start communicating a little bit here and there junior year, maybe late sophomore year, but then you really want to create that bond between you and that coach, or you and that school, so that you have a very keen understanding of how it really works. Okay. And then some of those resources we'll have for you. The recruiting process can be overwhelming, so you don't want to have to do it alone. So we'll provide some of those recruiting tools, and there'll just be links for those resources that you can tap into, whether it's going to be the link to the NCAA Eligibility Center, the NCSA college recruiting platforms, and some of those other platforms that you can create a profile on so that you can be seen. It's sort of like LinkedIn or late sophomore year, but then you really want to create that bond between you and that coach, or you and that school, so that you have a very keen understanding of how it really works. Okay. And then some of those resources we'll have for you. The recruiting process can be overwhelming, so you don't want to have to do it alone. So we'll provide some of those recruiting tools, and there'll just be links for those resources that you can tap into, whether it's going to be the link to the NCAA Eligibility Center, the NCSA college recruiting platforms, and some of those other platforms that you can create a profile on so that you can be seen. It's sort of like LinkedIn or the social media platform for college recruiting. So, all right. And then in terms of your activities and the actions that you should be taking, well, definitely mark your calendars and have that in your head. Okay. Late sophomore year, early junior year, I'm really going to start narrowing down what kind of school I want to go to. And then you can certainly download the NCAA recruiting timeline and mark those important dates down, and it'll keep you organized and stay on track for it. Okay. And those, if you follow those steps, you'll definitely be on track to play college soccer if that's what you want to do. And so again, to recap quickly what we talked about today and what the takeaways are, is to really understand the difference between the NCAA, the NAIA, and the junior colleges, which is the NJCAA. Stay on top of the recruiting timeline each year, understand where you are in the process, and use the resources we're going to provide for you, and take full advantage of those. Okay. Honestly, that kind of wraps up this first module. Remember, understanding the process is the first step to really to a successful college soccer recruiting journey. In the next module, we'll dive into creating a strong recruiting profile. So stay tuned. Be sure to bring your A game the next time, and we'll walk you